Okay guys, welcome to Nerd Central, better known as Comic Comments. I'm Matt.
I'm Pete.
Basically what we want to do with the show now, as you can see, we've actually got a bit of a set going on behind us. We've got a new microphone. We're hoping to get a better camera, just continuing to improve the quality of it for you guys. We were thinking of doing giveaways, so say if the next 2 episodes get at least 100 views each, I don't mind going out, getting like a £10 graphic novel, and then we can do like a giveaway thing where it'll be like, for every person that leaves a comment, we'll choose a random winner, and you'll be given stuff, because we just want to get interest in the show. We're on Facebook now. If you go facebook.com/comiccommentsyt, that is going to be our hub, really, so you can hear about upcoming episode specials, competitions. So go overhead and like that, and then don't forget to just like, subscribe and comment on these videos. Let's get into today's episode. First thing we need to do is just tidy a few things up. Last episode we had no knowledge of the Ultimate Universe. We have fixed that. I have also now read the original Secret Wars in all its glory. That is the trade paperback. You've started reading it?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through.
Yeah, and I've absolutely finished it, so that's helped a whole lot. You found out about the Maker,
Yeah.
who is a huge part in this and the Ultimate Universe. If you just go ahead and explain and tidy up those sorts of things.
So basically, the Maker is Reed Richards in the Ultimate Universe, and he's an absolute dick.
Yes. So he's Reed Richards in the Ultimate Universe,
Yeah.
a lot of similarities. Where's the point where he becomes different and the Maker?
So Magneto destroys everything, and the Fantastic Four fail, and they're so broken up by this that they split off, and Sue Storm rejects Reed Richards' proposal.
I forgot that.
Yeah. And he goes nuts.
So he goes nuts.
Yeah.
Is that when he creates Children of Tomorrow?
No, he gets like transported to the, I think it was the end zone, or the negative zone or something, and he gets stuck there, and he becomes the Maker, and it takes him a while. He eventually gets back. I can't really remember how, but then he creates this dome, where time goes faster inside the dome, and he's got the Children of Tomorrow in there with him, and like 900 years pass like inside this dome while normal time is going on outside. Oh, and because of his stretchiness, he doesn't age or anything.
That's pretty much the dome from Dragon Ball Z, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where it's like, let's go in and we can do like 50 years worth of training in a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I missed a bit. Johnny Storm like burns half of Reed Richards' face off. Hence the head thing. Because after Reed went crazy, he like hurt Sue Storm, and then Johnny wanted revenge.
So he's kind of, it's just Hank Pym. It's just another woman beater.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't like the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, and he tried to destroy Europe, but we kind of covered that
before. The main thing I found out was the fact that we talked about that bright light in issue 1. So we have this, and we had, I was going to say masturbate. We had mass debate about it. It's the Beyonder. Like, having read Secret Wars now, the Beyonder is basically a being that is beyond. He is all powerful and in a realm of his own.
He's outside the multiverse.
And he's interested in Earth because of desire, because of all these different things that happen on Earth. He gets bored and, creates battle worlds. So we see the Beyonder in issue 1 with, who was it? Doom, Molecule Man, and
Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange. So, Manifold was teleporting everybody out, which is part of his powers. Cyclops, obviously after getting the Phoenix Egg, his form changed, so now he seems to have that power, which probably isn't a good thing. And then I've also been reading these which is the Time Runs Out storyline. I've only got volume 1 and 2. 3 comes out at the end of this month, and 4 comes out at the end of June, and that's all of them. But Time Runs Out is the story that bleeds into Secret Wars. It is Time Runs Out. It was a countdown before everything ended. So I've started reading these, and we see Doctor Doom with the Beyonder, and it's going to explain a lot and clear a lot up. But yeah, in Time Runs Out, it seems they're all like not only aware of the incursion, but it seems like this is where it starts, and like the incursion's a much bigger thing. I thought the incursion was going to be like it arrived, nobody knew what the hell was going on, but it seems like people were prepared for it, and that explains how our Thanos, 616 Thanos, was on the Ultimate Universe. I also want to pick up Original Sin, because Original Sin is the story that bleeds into Time Runs Out. There's going to be all of those which we can do separate episodes and separate reviews for. Now we get into this week's Secret Wars, which is issue 2, with all the Thors on the front. Sadly, we don't know when issue 3 is out because there's no advert date. I'm going to Google it and look. But we're still doing this show weekly, so even if there's a week gap, we can do any fucking book that we've all read.
Yeah.
So that's not a big
We could
deal.
do the old Secret Wars.
Yeah. Worth mentioning, of course, that Dowie isn't here. We don't know where he is. We were running really late, so we went and got these. We picked these up, and I got back and I don't know.
He's not here. We knocked on his door.
He'll probably come in halfway through the episode and I'll be like, read this, and then sit down and talk about it. So anyway, I guess really the front cover, as we've mentioned before, is just a fuckload of Thors. Like, loads of people with hammers. Initial first reaction for you? Like, overall for the issue.
I was so confused until the end, and then everything made sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one so much more than the first one.
Yes, definitely.
It was less confusing for me.
There was much more of a plot.
Yeah, and some cool shit happened. Like,
yeah.
I know of Mr. Sinister, but reading this, I was like, Mr. Sinister is fucking cool.
Yeah.
This has left me like, you'll see by the ending why this one has left me so much more like, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
So we start off by just seeing this guy who manages to lift, I'm going to say a Thor hammer, because I don't think it is Thor's hammer, I think it is a Thor hammer.
Yeah, because it says that he can name his own hammer.
Yes. He lifts that, of course, he gets the power of Thor. Somebody else tries lifting it and can't seem to, so it seems like this is something, it's like a sword in the stone type of thing.
Yeah.
And we see that there are loads of people with Thor hammers. And they are just known as the Thors, and they fight for justice.
At first I thought this guy was Odin,
I
but
thought it
he
was
turns
Odin.
out to be a Thor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very Odin looking.
He's got like the eye patch and everything.
Yeah. But then what's cool is he's basically saying we uphold justice and we answer to God. And then when he mentions God, we see this, which is Doom's mask. And at this point, I was like, holy shit. Like, where that was it. I was hooked then. So it's established that everything's been destroyed except whatever this is. And then we're in a place called Doomguard, which is clearly just Asgard, but it's Doomguard. The issues mainly like this are main character whose I don't think we actually catch his name.
No, he's just a Thor.
A Thor. We'll call him...
We can't call him T-Dog.
No. Trevor,
okay.
So there's Trev. But basically, he's sort of being taught the ways of a Thor. I think that's the theme for this one. Last one's was shit blowing up. This one is Trevor learning to be a Thor.
Really like the art on this page.
They're saying there was nothing, And then the universe was created, and they're saying it was created by Doom, which is why Doom is a god to them. And then we see this floating castle. So we see, is this Doom's castle?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Then we see a different kingdom, because it's all split up into kingdoms. And we see a search team led by
Can't remember.
Minister Powers.
Yeah.
And they go out and they find something. I don't think we're actually told. We're not told what it is. They've just found an object which is of interest, because it's an object that could potentially prove that Doom is not God.
So there's this like body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the head. That's the hand. They're literally walking around a giant body.
Then we get to Bar Sinister, and this is what I just love Mr. Sinister, because he's sassy. Like, he says, the law, how very trashy. And he's accused of committing crimes, of dealing with other kingdoms in ways you're not supposed to, because like borders are very sacred and all this kind of stuff. And it says that he's going to be put into court. The person who actually guards Castle Doom is Galactus, which is cool.
And then Doom sat on Yggdrasil?
He's sat on the World Tree, which is his throne. One thing that's interesting is that Sue Storm is at his side. So we know that she's okay, we know that the kids are okay, but it's like, what? Then we have the sheriff, who decides who's guilty and who's not.
Is that meant to be Doctor Strange?
Potentially, yeah.
I think they mentioned later on that the sheriff is Doctor Strange.
So he's given all his charges, and he just pars them all off in this amazing fashion, does Mr. Sinister. We get to see that there's like Apocalypse has his own kingdom and all this kind of stuff. As Mr. Sinister ran his own kingdom, he's allowed trial by battle, so he's allowed to fight for his freedom. So Jamie and Brian Braddock, Mr. Sinister wants to fight Jamie Braddock, but Brian steps forward and is like, no, I can do this. And they've got like these stun sticks, they call them, to fight with. And Brian just smashes Mr. Sinister and takes his head off.
Which is awesome.
And everyone's like, cool.
Yeah.
But it's Mr. Sinister, so then Mr. Sinister, without a head, is just kicking the crap out of this guy. Until Doom stops them. Doom's basically saying that there's a thing called the Silent Chambers. He wants to know how to get in there, and he feels that as as Brian Braddock runs that kingdom, he should know how to get in and out. And when Brian is unable to give an answer, Doom loses his shit. Sue's able to calm him down, and then we have this weird moment where she's like, he kind of half holds her hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Brian becomes the ruler then of that kingdom. He's upgraded to take his brother's place.
Sinister gets whipped, Brian gets upgraded, and Jamie goes to die, because he's the betrayer.
So Sue Storm's daughter then, we see talking to the sheriff, and she says, we found this object of interest, and the sheriff gets a bit defensive about it. We also see that the Fantastic Four's son, he is also okay. He's actually sat in Galactus's hand, just chilling, which was a cool image to see.
Yeah.
Then we see a place called the Shield, which is like a giant wall, where Jamie says what a great place for a guy to go and die. But it's cool, because he says he's going to die, and he opens this chest and he's putting on armour, and then he jumps off the wall, and we see there's just all the undead are in like this mist, and Venom's there, and they basically just want to eat him.
Yeah.
There's the Annihilation Wave that is being held back. There's Ultrons. There's like all this bad shit is down there.
Yeah.
In the Deadlands is what it's called. The object opens.
Because some guy can't resist touching it.
It opens, and this main Thor guy with the eye patch takes a spear through the chest, which I was like, that's cool, and he's like, everyone run. Then he takes a spear shot right through the head. Awesome.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Cabal are inside of it, and Thanos is asking, what is this place? We see the Maker as well, and it seems they had their own copy of the raft, because it says, but we're alive, so the design you stole worked.
Yeah.
But Thanos is interrogating this pointless alien guy who I'm sure will grow to love if he doesn't die. He asks for a name of the place, and he says it's called Latverian, because of course Doom's in charge of Latveria. Others call it God's Kingdom, but he says, but everyone else, we common folk, call it something else. We call it... And the comic ends, and all we see is this page saying Battleworld. We get an updated Battleworld map, because some of the locations, there's no classified ones now. So because it's Doom's god and everything, we can see all of Doom's
places.
Yeah. As a preview for the next one, we just get this
really cool
image of the Maker and of Reed Richards. I liked the idea that like Thor's are like the kind of police force. I like that Doom is God in this.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas I did really enjoy. It still just feels like one of those stories where they're gonna throw information at us, and then at the end it'll be like, oh, by the way, this is what you just saw, and you're like, oh, okay. And I don't know if I like that, because we know that this is Battleworld, but we're yet to actually really see Secret Wars.
Yeah. It's still leading up to everybody actually fighting.
Yeah. I think the thing is that this is... They want to make this as different to the old Secret Wars as possible.
Yeah, so like Doom is already there.
Yeah. But the thing is with the old Secret Wars, everything was... You were just told everything. So the Beyonder was like, here's what's happening, here's what I've done. And you're like, okay, let's go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, I'm like, there's no answers have really been given. We still don't really know why Battleworld is there.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that Doom made it.
Yeah, like Doom and the Beyonder, like, buddied up or something. I mean...
Doom must have, like, done something, because if he's got, like, Doctor Strange as his sheriff...
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't just happen.
I think that's why this one is so interesting, is the way that it's not very good versus evil. The lines are so blurred in this, and you don't know which characters are good, which are really bad, who you actually like or not yet.
Yeah.
It's only really Mr. Sinister that I think is cool.
I don't know, I quite like Trevor.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Trevor was cool.
Newbie Thor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see throughout this main title who our main characters are going to be. I feel like obviously the Cabal will be a big thing, but like in this, we didn't see any of Mr. Fantastic or Black Panther or any of that lot.
Yeah.
I find there's just a lot less to say for this issue, but that's because it doesn't feel like we're not jumping around as much this issue. It's just a
single plot.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's less confusing. So, I mean, we've got 6 issues left. A lot can happen in 6 issues, though. At the start of every episode now, we'll probably have a section that'll just be, like, probably filthily named Cleaning Up, which will just be fixing our own mistakes, or if we're sat and we're, like... Because we don't really plan it. Like, I like the just sitting down and just discussing format, not a scripted format. As far as where I see this story going, I feel like the main focus, Mr. Fantastic versus the Maker, is where I'd want to see it go, and like a direction that I think is completely possible. Yeah. What might be interesting is, like, Secret Wars, you had the 2 sides, then the X-Men split off, and then Galactus becomes his own, so there's 4 armies, 4 participating parties. I see this could either be like, either Reed Richards versus the Maker, or it might be there's Doom's army and there's the Cabal, and there's like, it might split off into loads of different armies, and it could be, rather than it being like one direct war, there'll be loads of wars going on. Yeah, that's all we can really think of saying for this week. This series is being we're focusing around Secret Wars because it's a big event, there's the 8 issues and stuff, but I don't think they're coming out weekly. I think they come out whenever they want to, but in between issues, and we want to do this show every week. So if you've got a story you want us to read and talk about, leave it in the comments and we can look at that. So like I said, don't forget to just like and view and share the videos and like us on Facebook, because the more that you guys are watching, the more that we can bring to you, really, and just keep upgrading it, like our amazing set that we now have.
This is a tiny Deadpool.
Yeah, we thought it would look cool in the background of the set. I've been Matt.
I've been Pete.
And this has been Comic Comments, and we will see you in the next one.